My bold and the beautiful fans, hopefully you're having a wonderful holiday weekend. We're closing out one year, going right into another, and we got some crazy spoilers to talk about. So, you know what? Without further ado, let's get to it. First, Bill goes on a date with Poppy. Hope responds to Thomas's proposal, surprises everyone, and Finn fears for Hope's safety. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. This is your full spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of January 1st through January 5th, 2024. And without any further ado, let's talk about what's coming up this first week of the new year. So, on Happy New Year Monday, January 1st, we will not have a new episode. However, we will have a repeat episode of The Bold and the Beautiful from June 26, 2023. It's the aftermath of that kiss in Rome with Hope and Thomas. And of course, this is where we saw Hope tell Thomas, what happened in Rome, stay in Rome. Forget about that kiss. We also saw the serenading of Ridge and Brooke also in Rome as they stayed behind. And then, of course, none other than little puke waffle boy Liam was back in LA licking his wounds after what he saw on the balcony in Rome. So we'll get a whole repeat of that episode on Monday. Which now takes us into the second day of the new year, Terrific Taco Tuesday, with a new episode where we see Xander continues to recount the story about Thomas, which even adds more tension to this situation. Yikes, we know what he said in the last episode that we saw on Thursday, as we did not have an episode on Friday, or a new one. The thing is, he called Thomas an unaliver of Emma. So yeah, it's definitely got Finn on red alert, and it's going to actually start a whole trajectory the rest of this week. Also on Monday, remember we had a proposal. We're wondering what Hope is going to say, right? Which also takes us into Wonderful Wednesday, January 3rd, as Hope's response to Thomas's proposal surprises everyone. So now here's the interesting thing. If she says no, that's not going to surprise anyone. If she says yes, it's going to surprise everyone at Forrester, especially her mom. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds. Also on Wednesday, because of the information Finn now has heard from Xander, Stephie becomes defensive about Thomas in a conversation with Finn. Of course, she's going to defend her brother, but you know what? You started this. Finn ran in that office, putting him on notice, and you stood behind him as if Thomas was going to do something to you. Now you're on the defense when it comes to your husband because of this information, obviously, that Finn was nowhere around at that time to even know about, and some stranger walk into his office and call her brother an unaliver. So of course she's going to get defensive. Plus she knows everything that her parents did to cover this for Thomas, and plus, remember, this was 5 years ago. At the same time, he supposedly have grown from this. So, yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting dynamic. We're now on to Friday Eve, a terrific Thursday, January 4th, as guess who's back? None other than Dollar Bill Spencer. We haven't seen him since the end of November with the whole dynamic of him recognizing Poppy. Well, how do we go from him not sure that Poppy is somebody from his past to now they're going on a date? Yeah, Bill is going on a date with Poppy. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they transition from what we saw in November to now in January, and now they're going on a date. Did some things happen behind the scene that we didn't know about with everything going on with this whole Eric on his deathbed storyline? Yeah, I'm curious to find out. But it's good that Bill Spencer is back on screen. Also on Thursday, which is another crazy thing for me, is the fact that Finn is torn between Xander and Steffie's conflicting stories, fearing for Hope's safety. Okay, so you're going to listen to a stranger who you met as a patient in your office versus your wife. Yeah. Now, I know we've been critical of Stephie of those kisses and whatnot, but obviously I would think her family would know more about this situation than this guy to walk into the office. Even Zoe, as we saw in the flashback last week, told him, don't speak on something that you don't even really know the whole story about. Now, we know what happened. We know exactly what happened. However, it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic unfold between Stephie and her husband, because the moment that Stephie is going to be like, well, wait a minute, I told you what was up and you don't trust me, but you're going to trust Xander? Oh, yeah. I mean, you pretty much are signing your wife away to little puke Liam. And I know Liam is waiting in the wind. So are you going to make it easy for him, Finn? The other thing about this spoiler is the fact that Finn is fearing for Hope's safety. So you're already doubting your wife over Hope and you trying to protect her? Oh, yeah, I don't think that's going to sit well with Stephie. So again, are you going to make it easy for Liam, Finn? We got to stay tuned. And finally, it moves us into TGIF Fabulous Friday, January 5th, as Hope and Thomas separately discover damning accusations from Xander. So yeah, now they get that information that he's making those accusations about Thomas being an unaliver. Now, remember, there was a proposal earlier this week where it looked like she might have said yes. Could this obviously be some doubt that he might put in Hope's head, or was she staying by her man from everything that she's known that has happened in this past 5 years? The other thing is, what the heck is Brooke going to do? Because you know when she finds out about this information from Xander, is definitely going to use this information to lob a grenade in Thope's relationship. So yeah, it is going to be a crazy week. I'm glad we're getting kind of away from the whole Eric deathbed storyline. So I'm looking forward to all of these storylines and everything else coming up the first week of the year 2024.